Hello, everyone. Welcome to the JD Theory Podcast, episode 14. We're looking at NWA Powerrr. Came out November 11th, 2025. We are in the midst of NWA 77. Sorry if I sound a little under the weather this episode. Been dealing with some sinus stuff, the throat, the nose, the ears, all the fun stuff that comes with, it being the fall. But this was a great episode of NWA Powerrr. I suppose we should get right into it because although this was a great episode, I do think it started on a pretty slow note. It was fun, but we get Daisy Kill versus Baron Von Storm. Now, this is the first time I'm seeing Von Storm on Powerrr, I'm pretty sure. So I didn't know what I was really getting into here. Daisy Kill, he gets on the mic, literally the bell rings, and then he rolls out of the ring, grabs a microphone, he calls Von Storm the past, and he trashes New York City. Now, it's pretty funny, because I'm just like, one, Von Storm is old as dirt, right? This is an old man. And Daisy Kill is I'll say this. It's kind of insane that Von Storm is still going at his age. But good for him, right? Because God knows if I'm in my 60s or maybe even 70s, I'd hope I'm healthy enough to put on a wrestling match or to play a sport or to take a walk, take a run if I wanted to, So good for Baron Von Storm, I'll say that much. But Daisy Kill is overselling like crazy in this match, man, and it's pretty great. It's great. Reminds me of Shawn Michaels for like Hulk Hogan. He would just bounce around from the slightest hit. It's insane. And, this match, when Daisy Kill takes the lead, I'm holding my breath every time Baron takes a bump, man. I'm like, this is nuts, all right? Baron would eventually lock in the claw on Daisy Kill, but Talos, who is at ringside, he slides a chair in. Daisy gets himself disqualified from the match, striking Von Storm with the chair, and he beats old Baron's ass with the chair post-match. Everything about this is insane, alright? Oh, this was a match. This was one of the matches of time. Oh, yeah. It kicks off the episode on a pretty fun note, but after this, we cut to a promo in the back. We have the Page family. They're talking some shit to the Kazana-led team. Everybody on the team gets their little jabs in, and then, quote-unquote, Vicky and La Princesa, they cut a promo together about their alleged relationship. These promos suck. I'm just gonna keep it a buck with you. Every time I see La Princesa and this guy in a background skit, it sucks. It's not good. Sorry. We gotta figure out I will say, the writing has improved, right? Because previously, I was watching these backstage segments and I'm like, what is even happening? I can't even decipher what's being talked about because it's written so poorly. At least now I understand what's going on fully. It just isn't great. But yeah, after that, we would cut to the Page family versus Team Kazana. All right, Crossfire Wrestling versus Joe Kazana Promotions. Now this is where the episode really takes off, and from this point on, great stuff. And before the bell even rings, the groups are trying to brawl. Kazana's team is primarily in control here, except for when Tyler Franks comes in. He has a great sequence with a big knee. He hits it was a drop kick that ends the sequence. And I believe her name is Judy comes in. The women with the KCP team. I'm sorry, I don't remember her name, but she's beating up Kylie. The females really steal the show in this one. It's kind of a mixed tag team match, but there's 4 people, 3 dudes and 1 chick each team. And yeah, the women are running the match, and then Kazana throws kendo sticks, and Kylie gets the crap beat out of her with some kendo sticks. and this is going great up to this point, right? And then we get one of these mid-match promos. And Pope is he gets on that camera, he says, "I am the reason Mims is successful." Pope is irreplaceable. Now, he's spitting facts, all right? Because Pope is irreplaceable. You're not going to get another Pope on the mic in NWA. Persona, he fits the brand so well. Pope is extremely NWA core, right? And then we come back to the match. Country Gentlemen, they're doing a funny spot, punching each other. Both of them are aiming for Kylie Page. And then Kylie beats the hell out of them with kendo sticks. And it seems like the match structure, it's completely fallen apart at this point. Everybody keeps running in and beating the crap out of each other. This has been a really fun match, I will absolutely say. There's an insane moonsault by Hunter to the outside of the ring, being tossed by Tommy Henry. That was a great spot. And then, holy hell, a door comes out, and Hunter gets power bombed through it by the Country Gentleman. This match, it just gets nuts, right? And we even get a small back-and-forth exchange, Kazana and Kylie tossing it up. It's nuts. It's so wild. And if there's anything you need to see from this episode, I'll say this. Watch this chaotic match. The Country Gentleman would use a great combo move to get the win. Team Kazana actually pulls it off here, which, going into this, I was not expecting, especially when we consider the results that happened later in the night, which we will get to. But yeah, the Page family, they get shut down here, right? And we see Team Kazana lose a good amount. We saw them be a first-round exit at the Crockett Cup, but the Country Gentlemen have been heating up. We saw them get a win on the lead-up to 77. Now the whole faction gets a huge win over the Page family. The Kazana boys are ripping right now. Then after this, of course, we get a few promos. We have Aaron Stevens and Mondo. They have a hilarious promo on the boardwalk. Aaron Stevens, he gives like a delusional pep talk to Mondo, who he's fully on board. Aaron Stevens he plays the role of a great salesman, right? I work in sales, so at work I'm talking to clients the exact way Aaron Stevens would talk to Mondo. I'm like, this is so real. And then Carson Drake, he also cuts a funny promo. He's talking to his cousin Lockjaw, who we saw last week in that Heartthrob Invitational Gauntlet match, which was really cool. It was like a Royal Rumble. But Carson Drake, he does lack Aaron Stevens' salesmanship, so LJ just walks off the screen. So I guess from this, it's impliable that Lockjaw is pissed off. Either that or he's just thinking, and we see the Cousins become a tag team managed by Aaron Stevens. That could be something. But I think the goal for Carson Drake is maybe to get the TV title back, because Aaron Stevens, when he's talking to Mondo, he says the Slime Balls are going to be tag champions and Carson Drake is the TV champion. And Mondo, of course, is the national heavyweight champion right now. They want to get Slade as the junior heavyweight champion. So the whole Team Aaron Stevens is making some moves, right? But after this, we would get to our main event of the night. And I will say, this match, really good. NWA Women's Championship is on the line in this main event. The match starts with a lot of back and forth attack trading. It's a pretty fast-paced match. Big chops exchanged outside the ring. Kenzie would hit a huge powerbomb on Markova onto the apron. It's just great stuff. I mean, mid-match we would get a promo, but this one is fine, right? Because Tom Latimer, he throws some shit back at Thrill Billy. I'm very excited for that match. You know, we really haven't heard Tom kind of crank back at him that much. But it's good to hear him get a little more down and dirty in the promos. You know, throw some real salt, right? And also we get another short promo. The Immortals, they call their shot at Knox and Murdoch. Flaunting is not a word, but they're flaunting their Crockett Cup trophies. And I am glad to see some build happening for this match because it's been a little radio silence from the Immortals since they won that Crockett Cup. But yeah, I'm glad we're getting to where we should be, right? This match, the Crockett Cup winners should be tag team champions at this point, you know? But excuse me, it is what it is. So we're going to get that match. I'm excited to see it. Knox and Murdoch have been absolutely killing it on Powerrr. Every episode they appear. Excuse me again. Just waking up, so I'm a little... It's literally 8:13 in the morning. So yeah, after these promos, we get back to the match, and we're back inside the ring. They're trading big chops again. And also, I must note, I'm rooting for Markova throughout this match, because I think the title could use a change of hand. And I almost think Kenzie has it won. She does a big package pile driver, and whoa, Markova hits a massive top rope jazz singer. And this is where this starts to feel like a real main event level match, right? It has a huge sense of grandiosity to it, which is what you want. This feels big. We also get a lot of false finishes, and truthfully, the false finishes here, they're getting me, right? And it finally ends. Natalia Markova, she actually would win. It's very exciting. She hits the finisher spam button, but it works here, right? Because Kenzie, she lost the belt now after 2+ years on top. Imagine that. We saw how we had to take out Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. I mean, goddamn, everybody showed up, hit the finisher button, right? So yeah, I think you could use finishers multiple times, and it could be like a great way to portray a story, right? I think it was applied correctly here. And it's not something you'd see in NWA Powerrr often. So yeah, I'm very happy with this. I'm happy to see Markova hold the belt. It feels like this episode we really mix things up. And Kenzie losing that reign, and keep in mind, her family lost to the Kazana Productions. She just lost the NWA Women's title, the biggest women's championship in the promotion. So the Page family in general had a rough night, right? Of course, most of next episode we're gonna get that Tom Latimer Thrill Billy match. We're gonna move on to those really big matches, but and the tag champs, of course. I love that NWA puts a lot of respect on the tag team championship. It feels very important in NWA. I'll say as well, TNA does a great job of bolstering their tag team titles. I always respect a promotion that knows how to run a tag team division, make it feel important, always have something going on. But yeah, man, this was a great ending to the show, and it really gets me pumped for next week's episode, which, if I am correct, next week, it's either next week or the week after, we get the absolute finale of NWA 77. Like I said, we have that Immortals versus Knox and Murdoch. God, I'm tripping over words. Immortals versus Knox and Murdoch. And we get Tom Latimer versus Thrillbilly. Here's what I'm going to say. I think you might have Knox and Murdoch retain just because they kind of went super heel attacking Eric Smalls. You might want to keep them strong right now, and I know the Immortals won the Crockett Cup. I just don't know how many title changes you go for, right? Because we saw Brian Idol retain the TV title. We saw La Princesa retain her TV title. But all the major titles have been changing. We saw the national championship change. We saw what the hell is it called? The women's championship change. You're telling me they're going to change the tag team and the world heavyweight champion as well? Hard to say. It's hard to say. Yeah, I feel like they might keep it on Knox and Murdoch. As for the big belt, I think you give it to Thrillbilly. I really do. I think you have him go over Latimer. He could even win dirty. I would be happy because it's in his character. You could have Kerry Morton do some shenanigans on the outside. I don't care. Maybe Morton comes out, and then Hammerstone comes out too. They both get ejected, and then Thrillbilly has to win clean somehow. Or maybe he uses that distraction to do some other shenanigans. Almost like a giant Dominic Mysterio. I don't know. There's a lot of ways you could take it. Thrillbilly could also win clean. That wouldn't be a problem. I know he's a bit of a sleazeball, but he's a huge guy, man. Nobody's going to be like, oh, that's crazy if he beats Tom Latimer. I mean, they're both huge guys. That's one thing I'll give NWA. They still put a lot of emphasis on having a larger-than-life talent. That's why they separate the heavyweight from the junior heavyweight. Even though, the continuity with that's a little in the air. But yeah, man, the heavyweights are really big guys. You're getting some big matches. Which is good. That's what you want. Truly, truly. But yeah, man, NWA Powerrr's been absolutely killing it. I think this was this episode 4 of the new season, either 4 or 5. Either way, it's been a great season. Yeah, I'm very excited for this last episode. I want to see the fallout of NWA 77. I want to see how we continue the plot after a lot of these pivotal moments, especially with the Page family and the Kazanas. It's going to be fun. Just trying to think what else is going on right now. Well, I know I will be releasing the 2026 Grammys. The nominations just came out, so expect a video on that. Should be Saturday, I believe, that will come out. I'm probably going to record that right after this, so I might sound the same with my sick nose. And yeah, I think that's all I got going on right now. So, without further ado, thank you for watching. Go check out my video yesterday. I did a Doors discography ranking. Very proud of that video. Did a lot of editing. Well, I added background music. It's a little different. I put a little extra touch, right? I actually would have liked to do even more, but I just don't have the time, and I had to get that video out. Unfortunately, maybe I'll redux it and drop it again in the future, but either way, neither here nor there. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel. We cover Monday Night Raw every week. We cover NWA Powerrr every week. That's all I got to say. Bye-bye.